As a non-technical founder, the very first time working with a developer or development agency puts you in a weird spot. You're the boss because you call the shots, but you're also the intern because you don't know anything about software development. And chances are your developer will be working with some form of Agile, probably the most common development methodology in the software world. But if you're not from an industry that practices Agile, it can feel messy and just plain wrong. But it's not. You are wrong. By the end of this video, you'll understand the essentials of Agile development, how it affects software development, and how you, as a non-technical key decision maker, can best contribute to the project instead of accidentally shooting it in the foot. How do I know all this? Well, it's been my job for the past 8 years. My team and I at Upstack Studio, my agency, have helped non-technical business owners from multiple industries build custom software solutions. Some were a joy to work with, some not so much. And while we got there in the end, it could have been smoother. If you're looking to work with app developers for the first time, this video is my way of helping you to be a joy to work with instead of a not so much. Now, let's get into it. The essentials of Agile development. I'm not going to explain the A to Z of Agile. Other channels have already done a great job with that, so what would be the point? But more importantly, you don't need to know everything about Agile. That's the developer's job. But if you waddle completely in the dark, you're going to stand in the way of your developer doing their job properly. I'm going to explain just enough so that doesn't happen. To all developers out there, you are welcome. So business owners, here's what you need to know about Agile. Iterative development. That's what Agile is all about. Sounds fancy, but it's very straightforward. Say you hire a developer to build an app. It starts out the same as any other development methodology. Your developer finds out what your app needs to do and who it's for. Then we figure out the tech stack, all the tools we'll use to build your app. Here's where Agile kicks in. We break everything down into smaller tasks, starting with the most important. These go into a product backlog. Think of it as a very long checklist. It's a bit too long, something I'm told all the time about my videos. So developer pulls out a few key tasks from the product backlog and move them into a sprint backlog, our short-term to-do list. Think of the product backlog as a marathon and the sprint backlog as a sprint. It's a set time period where we focus on completing the current task or task in the sprint backlog. Traditionally 2 weeks, but it depends on the project. During the sprint, we develop features, we test them with real users, we deploy them, then we review what worked and what needs improvement. If all is well, we repeat the process next sprint with the next set of features, all as planned. If something is wrong, say users didn't care about the supposedly essential features, then we need to let you know and you decide whether or not we change our plans. Without these reviews, we'd just keep building. We'd only catch mistakes once the entire app is finished, which means you have just paid a lot of money for something that doesn't do what you need. This constant review cycle is what makes Agile so popular. From idea to app, nothing in software ever goes 100% according to plan. We might have misunderstood user preferences, could be issues with the tech stack, could be new changes that make it incompatible with the tech stack. Developers know it's going to happen, they just don't know what or when. It's like when it's your birthday and you know your friends and family are going to throw you a surprise party. It might not even be on that day or even that month, but you just need to be ready because it will eventually happen. That's how you show people you love them. But back to app development. The sooner we catch an unexpected surprise, the faster we can correct it, and that's what Agile does. Your app is built better and with less risk. When I put it that way, it sounds good, right? Well, here's something that sounds even better. My team and I at Upstack Studio help non-technical entrepreneurs grow past $5 to $10 million in annual revenue with custom software. We've worked with over 30 leading brands across industries. These businesses were stuck because there was no ready-made solution on the market that solved their problems. To continue growing, they had to make their own. If your business is also currently stuck at this 5 to 10 million level and you want to explore custom solutions, let me help. There's a link in the description to sign up for a free no strings attached strategy session. We'll dissect your current constraints together and you'll get an honest opinion about whether custom software is your answer. And if yes, we decide if we can work together. If it's not, you just save yourself from a very big investment with no ROI. Apply through the link and we'll be in touch. I'm only taking 3 of these calls per month, so it's first come, first served. If you want to work with me, apply right now. Back to the video. In spite of all the benefits of Agile development, some business owners don't like it. In my experience, there are 3 reasons why Agile can feel wrong. The first reason is different industry experience. Depending on their professional background, Agile development might not sound right. Imagine it's a house and the contractor wanted to make changes every 2 weeks. Not gonna happen. With a house, it's a very expensive physical product, so you put tons of work into planning, and by the time you start construction, you already know what the end product will look like. But software's not like that. You won't know what the finished product should look like until it's tested by real users. Also, there's no physical product and it's okay to release it as a work in progress. You see it even with multi-million-dollar applications. How they look and functioned when they first got released is nothing like today. But to someone in construction, this much flexibility in planning and execution can make it look like the developers are incompetent or dishonest. But we're not building a house, we're building an app. Next, corporate red tape. Big companies have an incredibly slow and tedious decision-making process. Say they assign a junior executive to manage the app project. We finish a sprint and tell him we recommend some changes. What does he think? He'll say, "Hang on," while I ask my manager. Their manager asks a director. The director holds a meeting with the other 2 directors. This first director is all about cost cutting. The second director is all about a great product. The third director is secretly texting both the other directors' wives. 1 month later, still no decision and 0 progress. Even if our changes would have been beneficial, what's the point if it means delaying the whole project for God knows how long? Meanwhile, if it's an SME, the owner will be working with the developers directly and decisions can be made on the spot. And the last reason, and the worst, ignorance. There's just no other word for it. After a month of sprints with no issues, some business owners start to feel it's a waste of time. Everything's fine, so all these hours spent reviewing could be spent building. Please don't fall into this trap. Just cause you don't get sick doesn't mean you cancel your health insurance. Cause on the day you need it, if you don't have it, you are f***. And if you live in the US, with a capital F. Think of Agile development as insurance against unexpected changes and mistakes, and the need to pivot that all software will eventually have. So be a good business owner and help your developer be as agile as possible. What do? Not all Agile developers are the same, but I feel confident saying we all want a customer or client who helps with aligning on app features and goals. There's a temptation to get the best bang for your buck by solving as many business problems as possible, one day. But this is today. Get it? One day, today, subscribe for more. Anyways, developers like to focus on one problem, solve it, launch the solution, and improve it based on feedback. It's really hard to do that when you're tackling 10 different problems at once. If your developer feels your goals are a bit too ambitious, they'll ask you to scale down. If you can't agree here, you don't have to work together. What you should not do is agree while secretly planning to bring it up later. Number 2, testing new features. After we finish development of new features, someone has to test them before it goes live. Developer can't always think like end users. Also, it never hurts to have another set of eyes and hands during testing. And also, it's your app, so it makes sense for you to sign off on it, right? If you could personally try out and report back on any issues, bugs, or unexpected behaviors, that would be great. Number 3, finding target audience members. The best feedback comes from actual target customers using the app. While developers can usually get testers, if it's really niche or specific audience, we're going to struggle. If you happen to have a network of your target audience, giving us access to them will save a ton of time. Better yet, it makes sure your app gets the most accurate feedback possible. Number 4, attending and contributing at sprint reviews. As you know, at the end of a sprint, Agile teams host a review session. This is where the team shows you what's been built, what's working, and what's not. Your role here is to help align priorities for the next sprint. If something isn't working or needs to change, this is the time to bring it up. If you can do this you are already much better than most first-time business owners. And if you really want to become the ideal client, here's what you shouldn't do. Number 1, spam communication channels. We get it, you're excited or frustrated. But constant messages on our Slack or WhatsApp groups won't speed things up. I will say this, you should never have to chase your developers for updates. But if they've told you there's going to be a delay or a bug is going to be addressed, let them work. And by them, I mean me. Number 2, prioritize non-essential feedback. Not me, but my friend once had a client ask for a design to be more black. The design was already hex 00000, as black as it gets. So that's so black that you could call it the N-word. Obviously, this is a very extreme example, but things like this happen all the time. Your developers are busy trying to clear out the sprint backlog, and the client slides into the DM saying, "Hey, could you drop whatever you are doing right now and make this font smaller?" Don't make me call you the N-word. I'll do it. Oh, the number of times clients have messaged us in the middle of development for this. They just came across another app with a real nifty feature and now they want it too. "Hey Adrian, how's my favorite developer? I know we didn't plan on it, but could you add this simple little whatever feature to our app? It's really simple, but it adds so much." Yeah, what looks simple on the front end can actually be crazy difficult to implement without breaking everything else that we've already deployed or planned to develop. Try your luck if you must, but don't expect us to say yes. Number 3, be absent from sprints. When you agree to work with a developer using Agile methodology, you are saying, "I agree to collaborate with you and discover the ideal app as we go along." That takes a lot more commitment than just signing a check once every 3 months. And really, we need you at our sprint reviews. That's where you get the most up-to-date appraisal of where we are, problem we face, and changes we should make. I'll go as far as to say that if you cannot attend sprint meetings, Agile methodology might not be for you. Because if you engage an Agile developer and you miss all the sprint reviews, you're definitely going to, number 4, complain after work is done. The sprint reviews are when we decide to stick to the plan or make adjustments and changes. Reprioritize, deprioritize, whatever that is. If you don't attend, you won't be able to give input and we'll go ahead with what we have planned. I think that's fair, and it's pretty standard practice. But some clients have a habit of missing the sprint, then asking for changes weeks to months after they should have said something. By now, we've already built stuff on top of what they want to change. So we'd have to undo everything and rebuild. And then they complain when we have to charge them for it. They refuse to pay and we refuse to do additional work that was not caused by us. And then they ask for a discount and I go, fine. And our motivation now is just to get it done to their satisfaction and hand over to Codebase. Don't do that, because we want long-term clients. Under normal circumstances, when the client is easy to work with, we offer to stay as their maintenance and update team. Almost every developer does it. Why would you say no to more business from a good client? So if you want to be that client, time for a recap. You now know that Agile is about iterative, feedback-based development, which means developers break tasks into a smaller cycle called sprints, which usually last for 2 weeks. A sprint includes developing, testing, deploying, and reviewing features. We have a review before every sprint, which is where we want feedback from you. You play an active role in goal alignment and target audience sourcing, and more importantly, feature testing and sprint participation. And you're ready to not be a pain in the ass to work with. I started this channel to help non-technical entrepreneurs who want to make smart choices about using tech to start and grow a business. If that describes you, please subscribe. You'll find topics like wipe coding, AI automation, and custom software broken down and explained in terms of what they mean to a business and business owner. Minimal jargon, zero FOMO. I would love to hear from you. What topics would you like me to cover? Drop it in the comments and let me know. And if you are new to app development, I bet you're unfamiliar with app maintenance. It's as important as development itself, and I've made an entire video dedicated to discussing the various aspects of it and their cost. Please give this video a like and share it if you find it useful. Now, let's see what the big deal is with app maintenance.